As an IELTS expert, could you tell us a little bit more what the expert or examiner expect from a tester for each different band?
Yeah, thinking of the different bands, it depends on the criteria, of course, but generally, let's say somebody who's a band 6 would be able to carry on a conversation such as this, probably just talking about their day-to-day life and so on. And of course, with band 6, it's easily achievable as long as you're willing to talk. Okay? You have to be willing to continue and talk about different topics. Maybe try to add in different words here and there when you're talking about a specific topic. And when it comes to grammatical range and accuracy, trying to use complex sentences or more difficult sentences is always appreciated. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to try. You can't just use one kind of structure all the time, because that's not going to work at all. As for pronunciation, like we talked about in the other episode, just let your natural personality shine through. If you want to talk about how happy you are, or how sad you are, or how much you dislike doing something, just say it.
And then, like, if you say it with emotion, it gives the tonation and everything, right?
Exactly.
As well. What do you see are the common mistakes that Vietnamese people make during their speech?
So probably one thing that we can focus on or talk about right now is pronunciation. I think most of the time Vietnamese speakers tend to have this probably missing the last sound, maybe missing S's here and there, or adding it when you don't need it. So I think that's one thing that people will have to make sure they listen for. So when they speak, or when they have time to practice on their own, they could listen to that so that they know that it could be something that they could work on for the pronunciation criteria.
And so there are many things. So there are pronunciation, the grammar,
a lexical resource,
yes,
and fluency and coherence.
Sometimes when we focus on one or two things, like so say, I'm very much focused on how to use very fancy words, the lexical resources, to describe the building behind me. So like, I'm trying to use a fancy structure, say, behind me right here is none other than the beautiful, gorgeous, and iconic BTVGo building. But then that is when you see I mispronounce BTVGo. So how did you train yourself to, like, not to pinpoint it on one part, but like to be well aware and speak fluently?
Probably something that they can do is day to day, when they realize that if they switch to English, just try to think of using the English pronunciation for English words. If you are pronouncing Vietnamese words, which are totally permissible in the test as well, if you're talking about a name, it's completely fine. Like if, say, you're going to be saying your name, if you're going to be talking about your mom or the street that you live on, it's fine to use the Vietnamese pronunciation for that. But it's just that once you turn to English words, then perhaps it's time to train yourself to really kind of separate that. Instead of speaking, let's say, Vietglish, maybe.
And that's sort of like mental compartmentalizing things, and it's quite hard to do so at the beginning, but then the more you do it, I guess you get more comfortable with it. Like you said earlier, you just have to practice and integrate it into daily lives.
Now it's time to study IELTS.